Hi guys, welcome to FACEIT TV. Here, it's going to be the qualifying round for the FACEIT Stage 3 European League. I was going to say LAN finals, because I was looking at the awesome video from Valencia, of course, which was the Stage 2 LAN finals, and we had the awesome awesome casting of James there.
What the hell is going on, Dan?
What the hell's going on, Dan? I need to get my James impressions on the go. But we have Navi and HellRaisers on the other stream, which actually James is casting on. He's covering Kingwin versus FlipSid, and that is also qualifying match as well. So it was very interesting, actually. We could have all the same teams back in as we did, as we had the teams for a lot of the previous season. So, well, it's up to HellRaisers to try for a wrench into the works, try to maybe salvage something, because at the moment, sure, they've gotten this far, but it really feels like both times that, I don't know, something weird happened, that they, not that they didn't deserve it, but it was the other team's kind of faltering, they had the match basically, and HellRaisers managed to just eke it over through too many mistakes from their opposition, which is how you win games, but it still feels, you know, a bit weird.
I think it was more evident in the previous games we've seen HellRaisers play, definitely versus SK. You felt after game one, it's like, well, SK should have this bagged and tagged up and be good to go to play versus Navi, and then obviously a couple of issues occurred for them, and HellRaisers obviously took full advantage. So, you know, that you have to give them credit for doing so. And
yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, and they're going to do the exact same thing if Navi allow them to.
And it seems like the ticket for them is always getting to the third map. They seem to struggle on the first two maps, and the third map is when they bring out the big guns and start really firing on all cylinders. And I think always it was the third map where they had really devastating results and just closed it out straight away. And we're like, yes, we are superior to you guys. So I'm very curious how this one will go. Of course, the maps are going to be Overpass, which is chosen by Navi. Then we have Dust 2, which is HellRaisers' choice, and an Inferno Decider. So Dust 2 Overpass. It's actually not too bad, I think, for HellRaisers. How do you feel about this?
Overpass, I'm not as confident in HellRaisers as you might be, because I saw Dignitas play versus Navi on Overpass just a couple of hours ago, and that looked pretty brutal. The thing with HellRaisers is that they often have a kind of a start problem when it comes to Overpass. They can either get off to a really hot start, or they can fall behind way too far. And even if you start CT, if you fall behind, that's even worse. So let's say Navi get up to 5-0 lead. I think Navi don't really need any more rounds than that to work with going on to the second half, to the point where HellRaisers are just out of it, and they have to look forward to map 2.
Yeah, and the thing with Navi for me is always that they feel like this presence, we watch them, and like this team, it's not about them kind of undoing themselves or making mistakes, it's about the other team being good enough to force mistakes and use individual skills to kind of just work away at maybe, you know, certain weak points in their game. It feels like Navi are so solid, which is more or less the point that I'm making here. Whereas, you know, some teams like we've been looking at SK, we've been looking at Reason, these are teams that are awesome teams, but they're not as well fleshed out as Navi.
Yeah,
exactly. So fundamentally solid, the majority of the time.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you notice especially when you see Navi play Overpass. It's actually one of my favorite teams to see on Overpass, because you know that Navi are going to run a lot of executes on this map, but there's no real way of getting close up to Navi to actually interrupt them in a significant way that's going to destroy their push. So we saw that versus Dignitas, they struggled heavily with doing it, and I think HellRaisers are going to run into the same kind of issue if, you know, if let's say HellRaisers won the knife and decide to start CT. I think that's going to be the recurring issue for them.
And knife round. So let's have a look and see if Navi are going to be able to start CT or T side. And looks like it's going to be pretty good here for Navi. They're going to start on the CT side and deny HellRaisers that potential for a quick string of rounds if they were to win the pistol and get the economy rolling and just generally abuse the nature of the map, which is a little bit CT-sided. But that said, with Overpass, it does tend to change a lot based on how well the teams do really know the map. Because the teams that are very, very accomplished on the T side, they've got good individual skills, so they're good at picking towards the A side, and they're good at executing as well towards the A side and also towards the B side, but also understanding the nature of how they can abuse rotations through Connector and Suez. Like, there's a lot going on in Overpass. It looks like a very simple map, but teams are really starting to learn how to really abuse the T side.
It has a lot to it, for sure, more than meets the eye. And I think one of the good points for HellRaisers playing on this map is the fact that they do have the individual potential to actually pick up a lot of opening frags here and there. So I would expect to see not a lot of executed style, based style coming out of them at the beginning. at least at the start of the round. So we'd more or less see, you know, players like Angel trying to roam around, see if they can pick up a frag here or there, and that's kind of gonna start things off for them. Otherwise, I think they might be in trouble if they can't find these entry frags. So that's gonna be pretty much the focal point of their attack for me.
You know what? Thinking about it, this might be a good moment for my Overpass poker analogy, guys. Let's go.
You've worked it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you were there at Star Space when I first made it. Yeah. Well, I just like to throw it in there sometimes because I think it's kind of relevant. So usually one of the things that I look at when on Overpass T sides is the dynamic between the A side and the B side. Usually when you take the sewers, well, actually to pull back a little bit. If you guys think of Cobble's CT side, it's very similar with Overpass as well. You've got one side for the CTs, which the CTs can kind of push, they can get information, they can take some control, they can actually try to have more of an idea of what's going on. And then the B side of the map, where you can't really do that at all. So Overpass is very similar in that sense as well. For the Ts have a lot of space to move up the A side if they want to, as do the CTs. So that means that they can, over time, explore more edges. They can take more angels if the CTs are trying to play for that information instead of just playing on the sites and being completely blind. So of course there's a lot of arguments to try to play for info. Then they're going to be having those setups which are forward towards the toilets. Maybe they'll be trying to play towards long a little bit. And this gives the Ts opportunities to just use their skill, their tactics. Maybe if you guys have seen Anders' recent grenade video, I think he did a lot about Overpass and stuff that you can do towards A long and also towards the A side of the map. So there's lots of tactics to be abused there. So if you're a team that really wants to find a lot of edges, it's kind of like in poker, where in poker, if you want to actually if you want to expose the other player or try to abuse your superior skill level, you want to try to play as many positions as possible. So you want to try to exert your edges on the flop, and then you're going to be playing the betting game, and you'll see the turn, you want to see the river. You have a lot of opportunities to outplay the opponent. Whereas when you take sewers and the CTs have no idea what's going on, and there's no engagements before, like you're not getting an advantage of any quick picks, it's kind of like you're just shoving pre-flop, more or less.
Yeah.
That's the analogy, guys. Yeah. So there you go.
Poker analogy, check.
I need to maybe condense that a bit, but yeah, I think that's kind of a cool concept because it does, because again, in poker, the pre-flop shove is usually something like it can be a little bit shock and awe. It puts the opponents to a situation where they have to decide how they go. Well, it's a little bit different, I guess, because
their gym is
you can't just fold. You have to defend basically, but at the same time,
Well, you could also fold, I guess, but not in CS.
True, yeah. You can't just run away.
That would be a really bad idea.
Yeah. But yeah, more or less, you go in there and you try to make it happen straight away with no information.
No intel, yeah.
Exactly. So you try to protect your position. And here we go. We're back into the game. So I killed that time nicely. Yeah, it's a little bit rough around the edges there, and I'll work on it. But yeah, I think this is something the HellRaisers could think about. But are they a team that have a lot of executes towards B?
I don't think they necessarily have a lot of them, but I don't think you necessarily need to have a lot of different executes either. I think a couple of, if you have, let's say, the 3 most important smokes, you can do a lot with that. And if you can couple it with Molotovs like DP do, then that could do a lot of damage to a CT side.
And we are going to get the first engagements here towards sewers. Both teams trying to take control of that area, but it will be Zeus who gets the last laugh, taking down Angel and more or less discovering that there's no major presence there, which isn't information enough in of itself. And they do have 2 players on either side, so they're just keeping it very chill at the moment on Na'Vi. They're not trying to over-rotate or really play too reactively, just holding tight. And it makes sense. It's Overpass.
Yeah, I still think HellRaisers got the better end of that trade because it's so early on in the round, so Na'Vi can't make any decisive conclusions about what they just saw. They can be like, okay, we cleared out that area for now, but they can't stay in an aggressive position because they don't have enough map control elsewhere on the map. So they're going to have to fall back and kind of start at square one. Whilst HellRaisers, that are going to have more spaces to move around with. They still have Mo, who has a smoke and a flash, which is going to be nice for them. So I think they have the more open opportunities for them.
We're going to have the push in finally from HellRaisers. They really left that very late, and the bomb will go down. So that's a really big win, as well as the opener from kUcheR. So now Na'Vi have a really big task ahead of themselves. They need just to get some really sick headshots. There's no other way to really deal with this situation at this point. There's one sick headshot, but Guardian's teammates are going down. That's another nice one from Guardian as well. So he's actually created a 2-on-2 now for Na'Vi. They're pushing fast on through now. They need to get these kills quickly because the time is running out. Oh no, Seize is going to take down Guardian, but he will get the kill. He has the kit as well. So Seize is going to make the defuse. That could not have been closer. Na'Vi with a Na'Vi Seize with 4 HP is going to get it done.
Wow. I mean, AdreN obviously did not expect Seize to pull off a shot like that, but jumping with the burst fire, probably not the greatest idea. He probably could have done a lot of stuff differently and gotten away with a better result.
Yeah, HellRaisers were so ahead there.
Yeah, that definitely should have been around for HellRaisers. So they're not even going to get off to that great start, which I think they might have needed starting T-side on Overpass. Even not that it's that heavily favored towards the CTs, I just think Na'Vi are so good of a team that HellRaisers are going to have a real struggle trying to find easy rounds versus them.
Yeah. And I have to say, on maps like this, I really like the tendencies we're beginning to see where teams have their AWPers, their dedicated AWPers. Like, for example, we see Guardian here. They're not doing that thing where they're like saving. They're really respecting.
USP and yeah.
They're respecting that. Hey, there could be a force buy at any point in time.
Oh yeah.
We're just gonna try to have a secure economy.
And especially with the fact that so many teams like to play passively, because you don't want to be 2 feet away from a guy with Tech 9 or 5 guys with Tech 9, right? So you're gonna play passively, and at that point you don't want to get rushed by a Tech 9 if you have a USB.
Yeah, that's really that's not gonna work out well for you. Yeah, and we're gonna have AdreN, his last man standing. He might be able to eke out another kill, but no, Seize will take him down. But yeah, I like that point, you know, because if you want to go further with it, it's your firepower does put you at risk of actually dying or having much impact against what could be a force buy. So then, with the likelihood of you dying across 2 rounds whilst just saving for the AWP, then that's 2 chances for you to die. And if you just bought the info anyway, then you're actually going to save the money and you're less likely to die and still be able to afford the AWP later on. So, kind of makes a lot of sense, I think.
Yeah, and HellRaisers obviously with getting that bomb plant in the first pistol round, they're going to decide to buy up with the AKs now. And you can tell that Guardian here was kind of mulling whether or not he wanted to just go for that. Oh, this is going to be a cool boost. They're going to spot over.
Oh, where's the spot? There. Oh. Okay.
Oh, it gets caught out by Angel.
Dead.
It's a really underutilized boost, though. So it's really cool to see Na'Vi doing that. Even though it doesn't quite work out, it's still a really nice thing to be able to pull out.
Ooh, Zeus is going to go for the finish. There it is.
Smelled blood.
So he's Zeus is on 1 HP, but that's not too much of an issue because he's towards the B-bomb site, and it is actually the A area that's being contested right now by the T-East, by HellRaisers, and they are going to find some resistance here. And wow, Edward is not giving up. Guardian's still on the bomb site as well, so despite getting a little bit of map control and being a man down, HellRaisers still have a shot at this. They just have to take down Guardian. He's on bomb site though with the UMP. He's going to take down Mo. Nicely done by Guardian with the gets it done. Na'Vi 3-0, only losing 2 players. That could have been so much worse.
They really could have. Angel getting that first frag. I think it would have been better for HellRaisers to kind of gather up after they pick up that opening frag and then try for an execute, because they're given so many more opportunities or so many more options. But still, a very good job by Na'Vi, and especially realizing the fact that after they saw Angel once again, realizing that he's low, just taking him out early on instead of having him being around pestering you towards the B-bomb site was really big.
It's definitely going to be panning out quite nicely for Na'Vi, because it now gives them this spot where they have such a clean round to play against HellRaisers. It's very unlikely that they'll lose anybody, so they can build some security economically. Although that said, AdreN is going to take down Zeus, and he was really having an amazing game yesterday. We cool to see him carry that form into today, but he is going to be playing against a very formidable lineup of Na'Vi. And another frag coming in. That's actually a very good result. That's highly cost efficient from the PT50 Eco. That's of course not very much money invested at all. So very nice to see.
Another buy coming up from HellRaisers here. Got a couple of mauls. That's actually 3 in total on the HellRaisers side, and I wouldn't be too surprised if you saw them moving towards the B-bomb site for an execute similar to what VP does quite a few times with key smokes and then molotov out the entire bomb site.
Here we go. It's Angel up to his usual shenanigans, trying to get the openings for his team, but at the same time we have a 2-man push coming in from Na'Vi down A long, and it's Are they going to push somebody? Because the cool thing is that actually this is so much in the metagame. That is the reason why there is a guy that's actually staying on party. I think it's kUcheR who's actually just sitting there
just
on
hanging
party.
out.
And it's because you just have to actually you have to watch for this because it happens so often these days. People love to play their guy there. It's almost like the Cobble B plateau guy.
Yeah,
basically.
It was really popular, like being in that Olaf position behind the corner,
Yep.
that type of thing. And now everybody Molotovs it every single round. But yeah, I'm not surprised by Na'Vi doing this. They kind of put one guy in restroom, more or less just scouting out any sort of contact, because that's the only place they had to worry about after pushing out long. They got enough information from that, so that's why they've stacked with 4 people over towards B. Unfortunately for them, though, it seems like HellRaisers have opted to change their minds. They want to go towards A here. kUcheR's going to pick up Edward, so that's a big opening in the A bomb site already.
We can see how quick those rotation times are really paying off, and this is really important. Dosia's actually just given them the opportunity, to go back, but they're actually, that said, there's no time really, so they're committed into the A bomb site. That's something that Na'Vi are aware of, but it doesn't even matter because they have to hold, and it's just one player left. It's flamie. He's picked up the kill onto Mo. The bomb is going to go down just in a nick of time. Only 5 seconds or so to spare, and now flamie is lurking around, but this position is incredibly difficult. We already see Dosia going straight to the toilets, and flamie's already aware of this. It's the most dangerous position, and you can see that he is pretty obsessive about it, and AdreN will take him down. So there you go. HellRaisers pick a round up, but the money on Na'Vi is pretty respectable still. Yeah,
only Edward is, well, I guess Zeus to a certain extent is in a bit of money trouble, but both Guardian and Zeus are able to draw for him. Zeus is actually going to opt for dropping up from Moss. He definitely could have dropped the Colt for one of his teammates. So a bit of greed, but I guess they wanted more nades, which is reasonable as well. They feel like they need the nades to hold off an eventual HellRaisers push.
Absolutely. It's going to be an interesting spot to see whether HellRaisers can actually continue some of these, like winning some of these aim battles, and that's why Angel's on the team. He is really, really good at stuff like that, and with Zeus down, it's going to be a little bit annoying. But that said, Guardian and Edward are actually winning the battle towards A. That's a really big deal right now because HellRaisers did invest quite a lot into actually trying to take map control there. They didn't get any frags. They got a few nades out, but not really enough. So if they end up trying to push in, it's still going to be really hard to commit to a bomb site. And
one thing HellRaisers have to be aware of the fact is that as soon as Guardian gets an op, he's going to stand on that position pretty much every round at the beginning. So I'm kind of hoping that they've noticed this from previously. Ooh, West Guardian misses a shot there.
Yeah, I'm surprised he missed that one.
But that's definitely something HellRaisers can punish, but just showing nades over from the party area. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw HellRaisers just started doing pre-flashes for that specific area before they start pushing out long from now on.
Yeah, it's actually quite cool to see Guardian reposition, I have to say, towards Monster. You never expect that. He's gone from one side of the map all the way to the furthest point of defense on the other side.
You would have expected him to play behind the boxes, bomb plant boxes on A site, and just kind of hold that area down. The HellRaisers seem to be wanting to go towards A once again.
Alright, looking good. Get some nice entries here, all kicking off from that Molotov. Oh no, what is this, Angel? What are you doing? It's going to be flamie who's left alive, but to be honest, this is an impossible situation. Once again, cannot really emphasize enough.
Maybe this is the next level play. Angel killed a teammate to give flamie hopes of a clutch here.
Maybe.
He's trying to bait him in.
The one thing to mention here again is we talked, or rather, when I was trying to make the poker analogy, I mentioned like the 2 dynamics between A and B. There's also another 2 dynamics with A and B when it comes to the planting situations. B is a bomb site, which is very, very hard for the T's to actually hold, but it's much easier to get the plant. Whereas A is much harder to get the plant, but it's much easier to hold the post plant. If you get like 2 or 3 guys towards the toilets area, it's very, very hard with the box plant, and maybe we can go into exactly why later when we see it. I'm sure we will, but that's another dynamic there. It's like train on B side. It's so easy to plant, but it sucks to hold.
Yeah, for me, the A side on Overpass is kind of similar to the upper bomb side on Nuke. And the terms that you can still be at a man deficit, but still be at an advantage in an after plant position because it's so limited as to where you could be attacked from. And you can defend the bomb so easily.
So we have finally Na'Vi thinking that, okay, we need to get the money under control. They, of course, had a save on 2 guys, but the others are saving, which makes a lot of sense. And
I think Zeus actually bought up that AK because flamie was the only one to stay alive the previous round. So Zeus has done a bit of a YOLO buy here. He might have the reserves actually to just even out his money.
Alright, we do have another kill from AdreN here, so it's going to be evened up. Oh, this position is very dangerous. Seized! Oh, he's only going to get one there. That was a nice opportunity, but again, evened up. Zeus and flamie can still do some more damage with those AKs, and Zeus is going to do just that. Just has to put a hold here now. He's really stuck in an awkward spot. He's very afraid that he's going to get naded, I think, in that position, but luckily for him, there's only one grenade. It is actually a Molotov on kUcheR, but he's going to go down. flamie comes in just at the right time there from short. He's looking for the next kill, finds AdreN, and spins around for the defuse. So good cleanup there from Na'Vi. What a round, considering they're a limited investment.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, what am I saying? Zeus can't play an AK as CT. It's getting late here.
I'm just generally always in a state of confusement. I don't know what I'm saying
I
all the
don't
time,
know
so
what I was thinking there.
I was thinking
But
I was
did
like,
2 people save? Like, what?
what?
No, they got an early kill. flamie got an early kill.
yeah,
Zeus picked up that AK. So he invested in light armor and a ZZ. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Solution
Our
found.
credibility just fell through the roof. It's fine though. We have Na'Vi 5-2 now, and they just have to clean this one up, take no damage, and then they're back in good economic times. And this is a brilliant way to start it off. Guardians can take down 2 players straight away. Good money in the bank for him. Nice little 2-on-1 from HellRaisers though to keep that economic pressure onto Na'Vi. They really need another couple frags though, if they really want to do some severe damage to Na'Vi. Stop that bank from building.
Right now, if Na'Vi can stay alive with what they have right now, should be very happy. And I don't see it being very likely that Dosia can pick up another frag. There's no reason for Na'Vi to go hunting as well. They have the bomb inside of restrooms. They can just kind of group up around that and wait for Dosia to make a move.
So here we are. We have the final frag, and we get the 6-2 for Na'Vi. So they've had a lot of terminal rounds where it's been a little bit close, where HellRaisers have really given them a lot of close calls. And to be honest, HellRaisers have been playing really well, I would say, so far. I think, they've just been having some close calls, been a little bit unlucky here and there, and some great play from Na'Vi as well. And we're looking at a 6-2. So full buy again. Oh, 4 players towards A here for Na'Vi.
Wow, yeah. I would assume, yeah, okay, they're going to put one down into underpass and then push out with the rest of the guys. This is going to give them so much map control unless the guy in underpass dies early.
So Dosia's in a lot of trouble here. He is smoked off in that position though, so the CTs won't get to him just yet. But it looks like the CTs should be aware also that, I mean, they've pushed everything pretty much. They know where the Ts are right now. And they are actually pushing into the site. There's no resistance here, as there was the 4-man push towards A. So that gamble for Na'Vi really didn't pay off. But just as we said previously, you can retake the B bomb site very easily, but you have to push quite deep to find the Ts in the end to actually finish them off.
A bit of sloppy nades coming in from HellRaisers as well, not being able to smoke out the sniper nest.
And there it is, we start to get the real pushes coming in. flamie does get a trade 1-for-1. AdreN is holding it down just for a moment, but it's Na'Vi, they get the kills, and in fact there was not even a bomb plant, which is kind of surprising considering how free the bomb site was.
It was only Zeus there. HellRaisers definitely should have gotten a bomb plant in.
And this is actually one of the reasons why this map is CT favored, because you can actually push 4, but you can come in from quite a few angles for the retake, and again, it's hard to hold on to the B bomb site. You can't really sit on the site, so it actually can make sense in some spots. It's kind of a cool gamble to throw a lot of players at A at the beginning of a round. I like that a lot from Na'Vi.
And right now, it's going to be just a Tech 9 buy, no armor from HellRaisers. So they're looking to buy in the upcoming round. They need to do a lot of damage here, though, if they're going to impact Na'Vi at all.
I'm feeling it. There is a weapon drop there, but it does get flamed off by Seized. And he's actually delaying them just enough so his teammates can reinforce. I was a little bit afraid, though, you know, with Edward just standing just in the open, like, come at me. He's doing the Morpheus, the come at me gesture. Right there to the guys with Tech 9s. Edward is pretty much a badass. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a picture of Edward's, but that guy is...
The beard is actually much more fierce in person.
Oh, yeah, it really is.
So Na'Vi end up just dropping 2 people, so they can be okay with that. You can see CS is already sitting on 9k, Guardian sitting on 7.1 after picking up an AWP as well, which he saved from the previous round, but still. Now we're actually going to see an AWP coming out on Mo. So this is the first time HellRaisers have put an AWP into play here. And that would suggest that they're going to play a tiny bit slower than what they've done previously.
And I like this again. We're seeing this pretty heavy investment towards the A side in the early stages of this round from Na'Vi. I really enjoy these aggressions. but I'm quite curious how this will go, because we have a different response from HellRaisers. They themselves are taking it slow. They're expanding out with a slow pace. We get a nice entry for Angel. He's going to take over Suez, and now his teammates are finally going to go for a very delayed push towards the A side of the map. And it's really paying off because they're catching Na'Vi, just as Na'Vi are thinking, what's going on? We're going to start falling back. And as they deposition, HellRaisers come in and they take the shots and they pick up the kills.
Yeah, the one thing that's kind of unfortunate for HellRaisers is the fact that the bomb is dropped so far behind, so they can't really push on whatever advantage they just got. Obviously, they're still going to get 4 versus 2, so they have a ton of opportunity to go pretty much wherever they want and be in an advantageous position. But they have to make sure they don't get caught out. And with Zeus not picking up that frag onto Angel, this is more or less a foregone round. There's not really a lot Edward can do unless they run into him with their backs turned.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pretty harsh situation to say the least, but again, it might be a good point for Na'Vi to reassert themselves. Although the problem for Na'Vi really is that HellRaisers are going to be surviving with a lot of players. Usually you get that situation where, okay, the CT's killed, you know, 3 or maybe even 4 players, and then HellRaisers have to buy everything again, and Na'Vi get a really good spot to reset the T. So it's very important that they have a clean round here, and it's looking fairly decent. Actually, Edward should think about investing, trying to invest to get more kills, and he's actually going to pick up Angel. This is actually becoming a big problem now.
Yeah, it is.
I think they're investing too much in this.
Especially because Edward should have been dead the second kUcheR saw him. Because kUcheR had the drop on him, Edward came out with his back turned. That should have been an easy pickup for him. But he's going to get 2 kills in the end. Luckily, with HellRaisers winning the round, they will be able to re-equip somewhat efficiently, but their nades are going to be somewhat lacking.
And they have to spend everything now. If they had actually survived with the 4 players and not invested so much to kill that one guy,
they could have had an extra buy round.
Exactly. And so now they're at a big risk of being money screwed and having to eco maybe once or twice. So Na'Vi are in a good position.
And ooh, AdreN actually gets one with the spam through. So flamie goes down fairly quickly there.
Zeus has been going quite swimmingly for HellRaisers in this match so far.
And Na'Vi haven't done really a lot to try to contest that area at all. Just a couple of rounds, and we saw flamie trading 1-for-1 eventually in Sewers the previous round. But what baffled me the most was the fact that when Na'Vi went with 4 people towards the A bomb side, it was the sole guy on the B bomb side who went aggressive, and that's just a really big no-no for me. Because you don't have anyone really expendable on that B bomb side to throw away. Now, Na'Vi left with 2 members. And I think the best thing they can do in this situation is just gamble on one site.
Yeah, it's really interesting actually, because there's always 2 ways to try to approach this, but let's see if Guardian can pull something absolutely mental off here. He's already got 1 quick kill, but unfortunately missing some of the close range shots. Sees with a nice vantage point here from the sniper area, but he's got a lot of work. He's got a 1-on-2. In fact, oh, that's very close. In fact, he does get the kill, and that's, again, kind of a big deal actually. Let's see what the situation's like on the money. So, okay, Na'Vi don't want to force buy, although again, this is a spot where HellRaisers have to spend all their bank, as we can see. They're spending everything.
I think that's what Na'Vi are realizing. They know that they can break HellRaisers' economy if they win a round. But the question is whether or not they're going to play passively or try to push.
I kind of like it though, because I guess also they're thinking, hey, we've got 8 rounds already, so we could either make it 11 rounds potentially by winning this one.
This is a bit different. They're going with 2 people down in Underpass, so they've given up complete control over the.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Dosia.
I think Na'Vi kind of realized the fact that HellRaisers have yet to push out quickly on towards party area or towards long on A, so they're not really worried about giving up control over that at the start of the rounds. They'd much rather get control over Underpass. Unfortunately for them, Dosia having, you know, X-ray vision through the smoke, picking up that first frag, but they seem to have a good grip of what HellRaisers tend to do when they're set up for their standard rounds.
And it feels like HellRaisers have actually been doing really well to slow rounds down, to create a level of curiosity within Na'Vi, where Na'Vi start moving around a lot, and they've been really picking them off when they're doing that. But now Na'Vi are playing an even slower game than HellRaisers. So HellRaisers are thinking, okay, you guys are not giving us anything, and now Na'Vi are surprising them. Mo is going to battle back, though. He does pick up the kill onto flamie, which recontrols Suez and Connector for them. But little do they know, Edward is coming in the back very quickly. He's going to make his way over through the short now, but he's only got a mag, and this is very awkward. He's going to go in. This could be really interesting. Oh, he misses the first shot, and that's the only opportunity he's going to get. Zeus has to do something, but Mo's got a bullet with his name on it. and HellRaisers will take the round, and Na'Vi, they don't capitalize on the poor economy of HellRaisers.
And now they have to eco as well if they want to have any sort of a proper buy going into the last round.
Really good recovery from HellRaisers, and with some of the rounds that they've played, it does feel like it could even be it could have been maybe a 9-6 first half scoreline for them. So definitely big props to HellRaisers T side on this one.
I think it's fair to say that they should have picked up the pistol round.
Oh yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, that pistol was definitely theirs. Yeah, that was a disappointing result for them.
But right now, yeah, exactly what you're saying. HellRaisers are doing a great job battling back, and now we're going to see some aggression from the long area for Na'Vi again.
Good start here from Edward. He's going to pick up 1 kill, trying to get as much damage as possible. But we've got HellRaisers cleaning up anyway. But there's more CTs on A-Long that they maybe don't know about just yet. And it could really come as a surprise, but it is maybe one of the most awful places to try to play with a pistol. It's like, let us play with a pistol on the longest range area of the map.
Much confidence in your aim.
They are getting closer, and we can see that the cover is quite good for them. It's quite favorable. It's quite hard to shoot around that boulder, these boulders, I must say.
I like the fact that AdreN's taking a more passive position, though. He knows that all he has to do, he doesn't really need to get any kills to secure HellRaisers a bigger advantage. He just needs to keep them obtained. You know, keep their interest so they stick around, and then get in favorable positions where it's not just challenging them. Seems like Na'Vi are just backing off here, but at this point they have no way they can actually win the round, so they're just gonna hope to save that AK on Guardian. Maybe Zeus can pick up a frag onto AdreN if he keeps pushing now.
Okay, so looking like it's turning into quite a close first half, and one that's definitely is going to allow HellRaisers to get a lot of rounds out on the CT side, which is going to be a big relief for them. Their CT sides have been very shaky of late, though, so it's hard to say how that's actually going to come together for them. And it always, depends on what happens on the pistol, but we shall see. We shall see. I'm quite curious to see what Na'Vi are going to be up to with some of the executes as well. They've got great tactics as a side, but here we go. Full grenades for both sides, pretty much. We've got some Molotovs in action here for HellRaisers too, and a very passive hold from Na'Vi across the map.
This is actually surprisingly passive as well. I guess they don't feel as confident as pushing out with Guardian not having an op on him. But we've seen several teams run into an issue where they allow the Ts way too much space to move about, to set up executes. Like, this is one of the things Na'Vi loves. When teams play this passively versus them, they get all the time in the world to set up perfect executions, but Guardian's gonna stop Mo in his tracks. And already, Na'Vi with a bit of an advantage here.
Oh yeah, and that was quite unexpected, but as you mentioned, so much space was for free. No nades were expended to gain the map control that is now held by the Ts, so they can use their grenades to get further. We're going to see a lot of Molotovs, which maybe would have been nicer to see those on the bomb side, actually, because now they've expended their Molotovs, and positions like where Edward and his teammates are standing by Optimus, that's a really good spot for a Molotov. However, they have run out of grenades. They're going to use the smokes. Will have to be enough. We'll have kUcheR with a nice double on the entry. So HellRaisers are making it happen at the moment, and the bomb's going to go down. And this is the spot that we were talking about. They fall back to the toilets. It's so hard as the CTs to manage this position. They know exactly what they're up against. They've got to clear the immediate vicinity by the bomb site, make sure there's nobody lurking, and then they know, okay guys, there could be one guy in long, they're checking that right now, and once they know that there's nobody close, it's all about this toilets area. Zeus goes for the quick defuse, comes off, gets the frag onto AdreN. Still, the time is ticking away though. It's just flamie left, and they are playing it absolutely by the book. And Angel with a single bullet to finish it. Great round from HellRaisers.
Yeah, really well done. And you could tell that Na'Vi, once they were left with 2 players alive, and they had 0 nades that were actually of any use. Like, normally, you'd be really happy to have flashes left in a retake, but that's kind of what's weird about the A side on Overpass. Flashes in that type of situation aren't really going to do you that much good, because you're going to have to go so far away from the bomb to actually find the kills, and you're leaving yourself open to so many angles. There's only so much you can smoke off of because of the restroom wall. No, I mean flash off. So you'd be much better off with a Molotov that could potentially have people, cut off one of the entry points for the Ts when they want to re-engage to check who's defusing, or just having smokes to block off vision. But HellRaisers is definitely picking up way more rounds than I would have expected. Yeah. Now I'm very curious to see if their CT side is going to hold the same type of level as their T side just did.
We had a 6-2 opening for Navi. They were really doing a great job. I mean, I think I mentioned at that point, I was like, oh, it's 6-2, but doesn't really give respect to how well HellRaisers have played some of these rounds. I think they played really brilliantly. We started to see that they actually managed to get actually edge it out and close some of the rounds that had been so close in the beginnings of that first half. And now, as you say, it's really up in the air. Always, it's up to the pistol to decide the original tempo of how this half is going to go. But HellRaisers today, they seem to be looking good. And yesterday we were talking about, okay, who's actually going to be a good team to play against Na'Vi, and we both felt like, okay, HellRaisers, because they're not necessarily from the same place, but they do have that kind of
familiarity.
Exactly, and they're both big teams in the CIS region, so very, very familiar indeed. And we're seeing a good game so far.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think HellRaisers are very happy about the fact that this first half played out to the point where they can allow themselves to play on their own strength, which is getting those picks here and there on the map and create chaos within the ranks of Na'Vi instead of having to heavily rely on executions each and every single time. And I'm surprised that we didn't see Na'Vi play more passive earlier on.
Yeah.
Especially with the fact that they didn't really have the economy to allow Guardian to get up to an op that often. I think we saw maybe 2 or 3 rounds where you had the op. I
think this is actually the problem as well, because they did get that really good economy at the start, and Guardian played it safe by getting the M4 and just really trying to make sure they're going to get all those rounds, get the secured economy. Then we saw, I think, like 8k on most players, they had most economy. Guardian brought out the AWP, but then he's missing a lot of shots. Actually, we saw him missing shots towards the A side of the map. I mean, he hit some
as well.
And yeah, exactly. And then he goes across to the other side of the map, which is really cool, like nice move. You're really unpredictable. You're gonna go exactly where they don't expect you, and he gets the shot. That that surprise element, it should give you that kill, and that should like win you the round. But then he misses, and Guardian, of course, is quite a clutch player. So for him to then miss that shot, all of a sudden they start getting behind. And then I think that's why they wanted to play so aggressively, is because Guardian gives them so much freedom to do so. But then he wasn't really hitting as well as he should have done. So I guess it's just started to fall apart a little bit from that point.
Yeah. I definitely. So even though we've talked about how well of a first half HellRaisers had, I still think they kind of need that safety of winning the pistol round here starting the second half.
Yeah.
Because Na'Vi are really solid on the T side of Overpass.
Okay, so we got the pistol round. We got a bit of a creep from both teams, and actually a quick altercation towards the long area, A-long area with AdreN. He's going right the way around, but it's going to be quite interesting here because Na'Vi are going straight through the middle, and they're going to try to get themselves straight onto the A-bomb site, but AdreN is still actually alive. I'm not sure if he's been discovered. Yeah, he's been discovered. He has to look both sides. Great headshot from AdreN. Surely he's not going to get anything more, but it will distract Na'Vi for quite a long time, and that was actually a really big deal because now the bomb is known by HellRaisers. They know it's down on long. They know that there's just 2 players, and they've been spotted on long as well because of AdreN. So they're... Oh, wow. Yeah, that sucks. Angel is going to absolutely destroy
Angel's
Guardian.
on point right now with those quick shots.
This is really interesting because I do not see Edward finding a way out of this with 30
he's going to get
seconds
backstab right now.
Oh, no.
You can see it, he knows. Yeah, there we go, Dosia.
Execution style from Dosia.
Well, I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that AdreN is able to stay alive for so long. First off, the fact that he even gets a kill in that situation is pretty remarkable, but he positions himself perfectly behind that rock, which you talked about is pretty awkward to engage into as a T, but it's also, it's kind of awkward for the CTs as well when you're trying to find whoever's hiding behind there. And it literally put him in a 1v1 situation and was able to just out-aim the Na'Vi player coming around the corner, and it bought so much time, and as you said, distracted Zeus long enough for Angel to come in around from the A-bomb side and pick up an easy frag. And it instantly kills the momentum of Na'Vi.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Na'Vi actually respond to this, because they have gone for the initial force buy, not getting the bomb down. It's the typical thing, as you're double ecoing anyway, and Angel's really tempting fate here with the jumps. Thankfully, he has stopped for now, and we will see a very, very passive HellRaisers, as you should. They are expecting pistol shenanigans and a lack of grenades. So what do? You sit on the sites. Is pretty much the optimal way to handle it.
And the 2 smokes on Na'Vi, as you can see, Guardian setting up for that banned by bank smoke, I guess you could call it. And I think Edward is setting up for the Optimus Prime smoke. So they're just hoping to get a pretty cheap bomb plant here, but I think most position is going to be really hard for them to deal with.
Yeah, and you never know with the Tech-9s. They could really get a fast couple of frags, and then that's all she wrote. And there you go. There's one really fast one. But HellRaisers are all over the bomb site. They are spamming all those P90s, the FAMAs. It's really coming into play here to give them that edge that they need to control the bomb site. Take it away from Na'Vi as they push in, but Guardian's picked himself up of P90, and he's actually managed to take down 2 players. And oh, they don't get the bomb down. So this is a weird one. They did so much damage, but if only they got the bomb down, they could force up again, keep the economic pressure on, and HellRaisers would be in a lot of trouble. But they have, I guess they have to save again. There's no choice, right?
But they still have the opportunity to buy. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
So I think he's going to drop off that AK for someone else. Yeah, Edward's going to be the recipient, or maybe he's going to give it to Zeus since he has armor. But I'm expecting to see 2 smokes. So this is somewhat surprising to me that they don't pick up 2 smokes. They pick up 3 flashes instead. And I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw just the exact similar strategy being put out once again by Na'Vi, just with a bit more firepower this time around.
It is really cool because one of the hardest things to deal with, even if you feel like you're in a better position, or if you're on the easier side, or even if you're the better team, if your economy is if your economy is not allowing you to play your optimal setups with weapons, it does feel a little bit intense.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do right now. Na'Vi are really putting a lot of tension onto HellRaisers, and these kills are absolutely phenomenal. Looks like Guardian's actually found himself a nice position on the bomb site with an M4 as well. There are 3 players for HellRaisers, but Guardian, he's in there.
No armor though.
Oh dear.
No armor versus P90. You're gonna have a bad time.
I like how AdreN just says, flamie.
Yeah. Like you know what you did.
Yeah, you know. Please stop this now.
The XD smiley is out in full force. And that was a sick shot. You can see Guardian followed up as well with his own kill. So the AK from Zeus didn't do too much, but still did a decent amount of damage on Na'Vi, but not worth the investment seeing how they did not get the bomb plant down. Yeah,
it's definitely unfortunate. They went for the high risk, high reward plays, and it's fine to go over those gambly plays sometimes, and especially at the start of the series, if you feel like you're the better team, you can always make an argument for more or less playing it safe or playing it risky, actually, because the more rounds that get played, the better team should come out on top. It's a concept that runs in everything. In fact, it ran in the analogy as well. The more opportunities you get to exert your superior skill, the more opportunities
the bigger the chance of succession.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's exactly why best of 1 sucks for teams who are really, really good, because they have a much higher chance of losing a life in a tournament versus a team that is not nearly as good. Yeah. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
so
for those who wonder why people complain about best of 1 all the time.
So we're gonna see. Okay, Zeus is actually gonna drop an op for Guardian here. So we're gonna see a pretty much fully kitted out Na'Vi here. And if there's ever a good time to get back into a game, this is it. Because if they lose this one round, HellRaisers will have actually secured themselves such a good economy that they can feel pretty safe about their position. Na'Vi on the other hand, they're gonna have to exude everything they have, and already Angel going with the aggressive push, catching out Seized already, and that's something you don't really see that often because Seized normally plays way more passively at the start of the rounds towards that B-bomb site.
That's really true, actually. He's usually that guy that just tosses over the Molotov, sprays the wall, but that probably is something that everyone's like, okay, we know Seized does this every round, so he's probably like at this point thinking he really needs to make sure he's creating mix-ups to his play. To be honest though, it is just good because it really delays the timing into Suez for the Angel wouldn't be able to do that.
That's the thing. It completely denies any sort of aggression from the short area and maybe potentially up towards underpass through the door. So it allows Na'Vi to take that area with 1 less risk. So I think it's definitely worthwhile to just keep doing it, even though it might feel very monotone and just very boring to do the same thing over and over again. It's still extremely effective.
For $400 as well.
Yeah.
The Molotov's only 400. It's nuts.
Yeah, and also a big part of Navi's play is the fact that they always have the threat of Seized, and everybody knows that Seized is kind of just lurking about. Same thing on Cobble as well by Drop Room. They always know that Seized is around, so HellRaisers being able to remove him so early, that's a big deal.
Whoa, that was a really great shot there by flamie. And he was getting forced out of position prematurely as to when his team actually wanted him to move. The grenades forced him to get out there. He got the shot on the opportunity, and now he is continuing to try to hold this down. No way! flamie gets another one through the smoke with a couple taps there, and in comes Dosia, even more remarkably so with that P90 spraying away. And it's going to be a HellRaisers victory with time. That is a little bit of a crazy round there.
Yeah, AdreN coming up from behind with the quick rotation really messed up Na'Vi there. catching the bomb plant when everyone else from everyone else from HellRaisers were unable to get into a position where they could potentially disrupt that bomb plant. So that more or less saves it for HellRaisers, and then Dosia with the P90 power. This is, and again, we talked about taking big risks and whatnot. This is a massive risk for Na'Vi. Like, if they don't win this round, they don't have that many nades, but they do have AKs. So they're kind of banking everything on this map on this round. If they lose this one, it's going to be back to an eco round, and all of a sudden, HellRaisers are sitting nice and pretty on 14 rounds. Or they should be. But you can tell that HellRaisers is playing this extremely greedy. They picked up 2 P90s. But one of them they saved from the previous round with Dosia, but kUcheR actually bought up a P90.
Yeah, it's certainly a rough time for Na'Vi, considering that it's harder to get position, but that's what's been given to them. HellRaisers are playing it so passively. And Angel, once again, will get an early kill in the rounds. So here it is. Mo holding down towards the A side as well. So very nicely done by HellRaisers so far. flamie and Guardian are left with a very hard task ahead of them. Great little flick there for the entry onto Dosia as Na'Vi try to make it happen, but their presence is known now. HellRaisers are just rotating everybody. It's so hard to make this happen. Na'Vi need to be absolutely perfect, but these grenades are just way too much for them to handle at this point. Angel's going to take down flamie. Guardian's alone. He's going to get the refrag onto Angel, but there's still a bunch of players lurking. Guardian's going to get the next one. Mo goes down at the top of the sniper area there, and now it's just 1 on 2. But time is really against Guardian. He's got 2 players to kill, 10 seconds to do it. He's going to take down kUcheR. It's just AdreN in water. Guardian knows he's there. He can't get it on the spray. It is AdreN to take the round, but that was a close call.
That was way too close. There was actually no real reason for kUcheR to push in there towards Monster. At least not until the last guy on the B bomb site for HellRaisers gets some sort of confirmation that Guardian is pushing. That was a big risk from HellRaisers to take, and wow. Na'Vi keep force buying.
Risky business. It's quite cool, though, to see that Overpass Na'Vi's choice is being handled quite proficiently by HellRaisers. It's so funny, HellRaisers, you really don't know what to do with them. Yeah, look at this. Angel back to the usual shenanigans. However, Guardian will make the kill happen towards Monster, and he won't stop there. He's going to take down AdreN. A decisive frag from the dedicated AWPer of Na'Vi. It is kUcheR coming in, though, to try to control the situation, to get his team back onto that bomb site, and we're left in the 2-on-2. The dust has settled, the bomb has been planted, and now the post-plant positions need to be found by HellRaisers as they search, as they scramble around the bomb site, looking for the angles here. Zeus makes himself known. kUcheR will take him down, but sees he's on the bomb site. He's got 21 HP. He's going to reposition himself. Here he goes, going for the... Oh no, they're both lined up, but he will get taken down. HellRaisers take the round. Once again, another really close one. At least Na'Vi got the bomb plant, but they are going to be gutted.
Yeah, and... well, Na'Vi are going to get a buy, and this is actually going to be the best buy they've had in quite a while. Seems like he's just considering buying an op for Guardian, maybe. He's going to opt to go for Molotovs and or AKs and Molotovs and whatnot. And well, this is it for Na'Vi. They have to get around here, or otherwise it's game over.
Absolutely, they are really teetering on the edge. And
somewhat, I mean, I'm kind of disappointed in the fact that we haven't really seen, again, that many executes from Na'Vi. It's not a clear setup that they've done. They kind of just bolted in towards sites.
And just to re-establish this, if you guys are just joining us, or if you're unaware of what the stakes are for this match, the stakes for this best of 3 are pretty ridiculous. This match, this best of 3, means that you go to the next FACEIT stage.
You actually get into league play.
You get into league play. Stage 3. And that's a pretty big deal. It's all on this one best of 3. This is the qualifying round, and Guardian is going to try to keep his team in it on the first map of this one. The angle for Mo is strong, and he's going to take a shot straight to the torso of flamie, and we do get a positive trade here for HellRaisers. They're looking pretty good, but Edward is fast to the punch, takes down kUcheR. But Mo is in a sneaky position. He's been doing really well, and he's going to keep it up. This is impossible now for Edward. 9 HP, looking for Mo. Finds the headshot. How much time does he have here? Not so much, only 20 seconds. Dosia has full health. Bomb will go down. Edward needs to find the instant kill. He needs to find that head straight away, but Dosia is going to eliminate him, and he is going to win the round. So that is HellRaisers on map point now for his team. Sorry, Dosia is on map point now for HellRaisers. So very, very cool to see HellRaisers do so strong. And we saw them play Dust 2 the other day, and they played really well on that map. Their pace was blinding. They were hitting all the shots. They look so much better when they're playing Na'Vi than when they play other teams.
Yeah, no, they're just looking really, really, really good right now. And again, but at the same time, Na'Vi doesn't feel like they're playing their proper game either. But
Agreed,
you don't want to take anything away from HellRaisers because this is definitely not what we would have expected. But yeah, Na'Vi definitely have some things they can look into going forward from this match. And again, nothing really set up, just bolting in towards sites. And this time they're actually going to get 2 opening frags. Angelo returns with 1.
Nice.
Ooh, that's a nice flick from AdreN.
Oh, here we go. Looks like HellRaisers are looking to finish this one off. They've put Na'Vi in a really weird predicament. We've got the bomb incredibly split to where his teammate is. They are very far away from one another, and oh no, worst case scenario. Bomb is down. All of the HellRaisers players are in the vicinity, and Edward has... This is basically Mission Impossible right now, and Edward is not Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise could never hope to get such a bid. But there you go, first kill. Edward is trying to get some hope, running in this one for his team as he pushes forward. What a shot there on Edward onto Angel, and now it's just Mo. He's got 7 HP, 35 seconds. Edward has plenty of time. He can play either bomb site, but he has no idea where Mo is. Absolutely no idea. And oh, he's going to try to fake his... What is he? Where is he going here? I guess he's going back
playing
all the
the
way
mind
around.
games right now.
Oh, this is so interesting right now. Mo is in a perfect position.
Why has he picked up an op?
Oh my goodness, this is so strange. Edward swaps back out. He goes for the plant, but Mo's actually very close at the moment. Oh no, Mo gets the free kill. That's unbelievable. Just lurking by water. Edward thought he was, tricking Mo there, running all the way to connected, going back around Monster, trying to play the tricksy game, but it was Mo, just very calm and patient, just holding it right in the center between the 2 sites. And he picked up all the sound cues, got the information, and he got the play. Very nice from Mo.
16-8.
That was way faster than I expected.
Oh yeah, it's completely unexpected.
In the wrong way as well.
Yeah, I could have been okay. Like if you predicted 16-8 in favor of Na'Vi, I'd be like, yeah, sure, that sounds reasonable. But no, this was just completely out of the water. But I guess that's what you get with HellRaisers. That's kind of why they're fun to watch, even though they keep disappointing you at times, and then they keep impressing you. So
we all know
it's never boring.
They know what they can do because it's to happen there. So. I mean, okay, it's fine. Na'Vi have 2 maps potentially to bounce back. They just have to take Dust 2. Dust 2 is can be a great map for Na'Vi. They're of course very good there, but if HellRaisers continue to play this well, I'm very scared for Na'Vi.
Yeah, it looks really scary. Especially Na'Vi looked so good versus Dignitas and Overpass, and they didn't look that great versus TSM on Dust 2. That said, TSM are a formidable team. So, that doesn't necessarily mean that much. And HellRaisers looked really good on Dust 2 yesterday. But I guess we're really defying logic with HellRaisers. That's just kind of the way things go. Whenever you expect HellRaisers to do poorly, they surprise you. So maybe Na'Vi are going to bring it back on Dust 2.
All right, guys. Well, we will find out very shortly. We're going to take a very quick break. We will allow the players to set up the next map, and we will see you very shortly.